What is going on, everybody? It's Jason and Max. Today we're joined by Brandon, Olivia, Baker. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you? I love that. I need to change my middle name.
I am doing awesome.
AKA Olivia, if that's your real name.
Right.
It's funny because my daughter and I, we started watching The Circle, and I'm like, Brandon seems like a lot of fun. I would love to be his friend. And then I messaged you on Facebook after that, not realizing we had some real life connections. Like we knew a lot of mutual people. And I didn't even realize you were from Ohio when I messaged you. So, like, and then we kept watching the show. I'm like, he's wearing a Buckeye shirt. Oh, he's
I'm like,
Ohio.
how could you watch the show and not realize he's from Ohio? Like,
dude, from the beginning, I was like, this guy is cool. Like, I messaged him like the first 5 minutes he's on.
You have my heart. When you were just rocking all that cool Ohio stuff, I was like, this dude is bout it. Like, that is.
And he likes gas station hot dogs, man. Like,
right. I felt like, I was like, how can I go on a show and not wear something Buckeyes? Like, you can't do that. It's blasphemy, you know?
Oh yeah. No, that was so good. So we're here with Brandon, winner of season 6 of The Circle. I gotta say that from the first episode, I didn't think it was gonna be you. Because I mean, after the first conversation, you were crying.
Right.
And I was like, there's no way he makes it all the way through. There's just no way. I was so pleasantly surprised when you won. It was so epic. You know, like the turnaround your whole season. I thought you did so well. I was shocked because I honestly didn't think you were gonna make it past like the second episode.
I didn't either. Honestly, like, I didn't think I was going to be the first person sent home. I thought definitely, though, like, I was going the second week. I think it was, or not the second week, the second elimination, because it was between me and Cassie, and I was like, oh my God, I went from the top to the bottom. Like, I'm done. Like, this historically, my game is over.
So we interviewed Sam last year, who won season 5, and she told us about the process because they were still filming in England. What's it like, the process here, now that you just got to go down to Atlanta? Is it still a month long of being down there?
No. So yeah, I can't believe, like, part of me is like, I wish we got to go to England, but then the other part of me is like, if we did, we don't get to see England. You only get to see your apartment and stuff like that. So our time was much shorter. I think we were a total of 21 days. And the process is, I would say, probably was easier just because we didn't have to take the longest flight and all that jazz. It was like a quick, I think for me, like 3-hour flight, maybe like 2 hours. It was so fast. It all happened so quick.
So what's the conversation with Claudia like when you're like, I want to go on The Circle.
Yeah.
I want to catfish as you. And first off, man, congratulations, because I think you're the first person from The Circle that's brought the person they've catfished along for pretty much everything. And I thought that was super awesome.
Yeah, so at least the American version, I'm the second catfish to ever win. So I was like, holy cow, this is amazing. And then talking to Claudia to actually get her to let me use her stuff, like her photos, was very easy. She was so into it that I didn't really have to pull it from her. She was just like, sure, let's do it. Like, what do you want and what do you need?
You
And
didn't have to
she
give her
made
like
it.
a notebook full of like back rub coupons or anything like that.
Well, she made it so easy. And I just felt like after the show, when I was getting to go to like LA and things like that, I felt like it was important to involve her because she had done that for me. It was the least I could do was say, hey, come to this fun party, like all that jazz. Because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have, I might not have won.
Yeah. Like you can definitely say that with her, you definitely won. So
Yes.
we know that it works 100%.
Yeah, you guys are really good friends in real life, and like I said, I think that's really cool that you brought her along because, like I said, I hadn't seen anybody do that yet on any of their social media accounts. So that's awesome that you shared the spotlight.
Well, yeah, I mean, I got to be there and actually live it. So just letting her have that small like part of it, it meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to me. I didn't think it would be fair if I did the show and then just was like, thanks, bye, see ya, good luck with life. You know what I mean? Like, that's not
Like, I'm an LA boy now. Like, we'll
right.
see ya.
It's just not fair to me. Like, I think it's not, I don't know. No offense to anyone who did
Oh,
it, but
no, that's just good. Like, I don't apologize. Like, it's awesome that you're a kind, nice person who thinks about where they came from. Like, that's
I try.
that there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's weird that we live, like now we live in a time where it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I felt I should bring my friend who helped me get here. Like, that's
Absolutely.
So we were talking beforehand. You're still doing your day job. How do you shuffle that with doing all of the like press that you have to do for the circle afterwards? And what's that process like? Like, I can't imagine, because I date a nurse and she is always working.
I definitely think, well, it's a little bit easier because I'm just a nursing assistant. So I don't have as like intense work as our nurses do. But it's honestly, I haven't worked a ton. I've been trying to focus on kind of figuring out what I want to do, like what I want to do next and things like that. So I'm currently contingent at work, so I can work whenever I want, which is really, really nice because it just allows me to do so much more. You know what I mean? But it is, I will say, everything has died down a little, which is nice, but also I'd like to stay busy. So I'm like, I'm ready for more. I know that sounds selfish because people are going to be like, you just won a show, Brandon, like blah, blah, blah. But for me, it wasn't about winning. I love the work of being on set and like entertaining people. For me, that is satisfying. So honestly, win or lose, I would have been satisfied with what I got to do.
I think you're gonna be good. You should keep following this path. Did I see something about you with Funny Bone?
I've done Funny Bone before. I've done stand up there. That was all before Netflix. It was actually right before, before the big pandemic. But when that happened, it slowed down. Obviously, I couldn't go and do stand up, but I could get back into it now, and I've been juggling with the idea.
I like you as a television personality. You are electric. I definitely, me and my wife loved you on the show.
Thank you.
I would love to see your stand up. So I'd say go for it, man. Like, you definitely have a personality that draws people. So I mean, you've at least got that going for you, and that's better than nothing.
I really appreciate that, honestly. Like, I really do appreciate it. I think that's the part for me that like I've been excited about, is just like getting to show more of my personality to people. I think, yeah, I've just always been a crazy person.
I think my favorite moments over this season were you in the hot tub flirting with who was it? Kyle, yeah. That was just so good. What was your kind of like favorite little moments, or what was your kind of favorite thing that you might even miss from being in that situation?
Honestly, I think I don't know. It's hard to pick a favorite because I really did have.
Not your favorite. What's a good one then?
Oh my gosh. So obviously I loved doing the dress up stuff and I loved doing the little parties. The hot tub was iconic. I'm not gonna lie. I had a blast. I think in the moment I was super nervous because I just don't flirt. And so going into it, I was like, oh my God, I'm sitting in a hot tub, tits out. Like, I know everyone's gonna see this. So in my head, I was more going through like, I'm looking at the producers like, do my tits look great? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, such a fun scene to film and also so nerve-wracking.
anyone else hearing that? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, that was my keyboard. I was
okay.
I was doing producing stuff, but but I gotta ask this, Brandon, before we get back to the circle. Who has the best gas station hot dog?
Oh my God. So I'm not gonna lie. I'm obsessed with Sheets, and I also have a thing for Speedway. So ah, I'm nuts for like a really like bare bones hot dog. I don't want anything fancy. I don't want to know what's in it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm taking a risk. That's my favorite hot dog.
So your guys' cast was a lot smaller than previous casts, and I actually liked it because I felt like it gave you guys more time to connect.
Yeah.
How did you feel like when they said, "Okay, we're gonna show the final 5"? Were you like, "Whoa, are we gonna have more people on the show?" Like, did that throw you a little bit? I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I definitely I agree. I love that it was a smaller cast just because I felt like it gave people more time to get to know us as opposed to just doing all the like the eliminating and all of that jazz. You got to actually know us as people, which I appreciate. But when they announced the final, like, this is it, I was like, no way. Genuine shock because I still could not believe that I was in the final 5. And I'm not saying that to try to be humble because I don't need to be humble. I just was like, there's no way. I was mind blown.
It's got to be, because again, like you did this thing, you're like, hey, like I'm gonna try, and then you got on, right, and then so it's like, okay, like you go out there, you're doing it, and then like, oh hey, like week after week, you're still in it, like, and again, you said like you're not very like you didn't have a whole lot of like what's the word? You weren't very hey, like I'm out here to win this thing, like we're gonna like that wasn't you. That was I don't feel like that's your character. Like how was that like difficult for you? Like just even the pressure of I'm still here. Like it was that an interesting feeling for you?
Oh yeah, like I went into it. Obviously, everyone goes into it wanting to win on some level. But in my head, I was like, honestly, I don't know if this is weird. I'm just happy to be here. And so I think it got a little more real for me once we got further. Once I kept realizing I was getting further and further, it was like that's when the pressure was on because then you start thinking, I made it this far. I don't want to go home. Going into the finale, I was just like, I made it to the finale. Brandon, like, you're good. I still wanted to win, but I was like, you're good. You're good. You made it to the finale of a show. Like, you're fine. And then, yeah. Mind blown.
What was it like meeting previous cast members of the circle? Were you a fan of the show going into it?
Oh my God, I was freaking out. So I've watched every season, every episode. I love the show. I was such a fan. And then when we did our like wrap party, I got to meet all these people that I have watched and been so like, eager to meet. Seeing them in person, it's a out of body experience because you don't know how to react. And then some you meet and they're like, boom, like, oh my God, that's the person I know. And then some you meet and it's like, oh, you're so real to like everyone. And so it's crazy to see them in a natural environment.
Yeah. So, what's next for you? What are your plans?
Oh my God, I don't know. So I obviously want to continue to entertain people. That's my goal in life. I love it. I feel like it's natural for me to just be that person. Um, I'm hoping to maybe do some scripted stuff. I've always been a comedy person, so a journey in comedy, I just think that's what I want. That's what I want. It's what I need to feel fulfilled. Like, let's do this.
We should try to introduce Brandon to Jesse Camacho. I think
we should.
if they could get together on something, that would be cool. We have an actor friend of the cast who he's just like you guys' energy is pretty much the same. Like just great,
I love it.
fun people, and like he was in the last Scream movie. Not a huge part, but he's a huge Scream fan, and he finally made it. It was just so good to see him there. I don't know. I see you guys together. I see the good things happening.
Max is about to write you guys a buddy cop movie.
Yeah, like it's about to be Gene Wilder and freaking Mel Brooks over there.
Dream.
We need to get you on Netflix's Too Hot to Handle, Brandon.
Are they
dating show? I think they would rip me apart because like it reminds me of like a skit I saw on another show. I think it's like I Think You Should Leave, where he's just doing the zip line. That would be me in a dating show. People would be like trying to flirt, and I'm like, we're on a beach. I want a cocktail, and I want to look for dolphins. Okay, I'm not here to one night stand you.
I'm just trying to watch TV, guys. That's pretty much me too. When anybody tries to flirt with me, I'm like, oh, I'm shows.
I don't get
what
it.
Doing?
I might be flirting. If I am, I'm not aware of it. And then like once I realize that I was like, oh, I'm flirting, then it immediately tanks.
Oh yeah.
Like if I was doing good, that's over.
The moment I realize like, oh my gosh, I'm on a date and this is we're trying to see if we're compatible, it's over for me. Because then I just start like rambling, or I start like,
yeah.
And they're just like, are you good? I'm like, oh, I'm great. And then they're like, okay,
it's not me, it's you.
Yeah.
This water's good.
Right. The weather's nice.
Has there been any talk of like a tournament of champions? Is there like anything like that? Like have they talked? Has anyone talked to you about people coming back or coming back on or anything like that? Is that something you'd like to do?
I think it would be I think it's a really fun idea. It's not been mentioned to me at all. But like I think it would be a really cool idea, or some kind of spin-off of the circle. I think would be such a cool way to revitalize the show. I was talking with some of the cast members, and I was like, why don't we just like rent a house for a month and we just kind of run it like a circle house, and we just see what happens in that month. We create stupid little challenges, with that many people locked in a house, there's bound to be drama and all this jazz. So I was like, there's so much you could do.
That's
so
really,
fingers
I think,
crossed.
I wish I talked to Sam a little bit because we're gonna get her back on here soon. But
love Sam.
I wish there was a way that that could happen, but I just don't see how it would work because you guys already know who each other are. So you came in as yourselves in like a tournament of champions. That's why the house idea sounds awesome. I'd love to see you in a house with like Joey and some of the other people from previous seasons. That would be so much fun.
The tournament of champions, but everyone's got a catfish as a different champion.
Right. So I think there's two different ways. Like if you did a tournament of champions, you would have to have everyone be a catfish, because there's no way we would all be, it would be too cliquey, because it'd be like, well, they're from my cast, I'm going to protect them. So you wouldn't be able to do much. I feel like if you put us in person and you switch the game up a little, then you're going to create a whole new show. And I'm telling you, I would love to do a show in person because that's just my element. Like one-on-one conversation and stuff like that. Like that's my element. The texting and stuff, I tried, but obviously I can't convey much through text.
Dude, I mean, obviously you can. You killed it, man.
Yeah, you won. You won. So I think you're doing a little better than you think.
I mean, yes, but also I think there's so many factors with the circle. It's not just like what you say or when you say it. It's also dependent on other people causing issues with themselves and others. So, this person decides that they don't like this person, so they kind of go after them, but that takes the focus off you and gives you the opportunity to swoop into this person and say, "Oh my god, like look what's happening over here. Like how do you feel about it? Like let's talk." And then before you know it, you've made that connection, and then that person goes to one of the people arguing and is like, "Brandon's on our side." And then you're kind of like, you solidify your spot for that elimination. And then you go, into the next one. And it's all about playing your cards right. Not necessarily what you say when you say it, but also making sure that, like, if there's a bandwagon, you kind of jump on, but don't fully commit.
Yeah. It's like, I'm going to sit on the outside of the bandwagon.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm going to just let the bandwagon drag me for a few miles.
Right. I'm going to get ran over by the bandwagon, and I'll just meet you guys there.
Yeah. Hanging out at the bottom of the bandwagon.
Yes. No one knows, but I'm here.
No, for sure. I don't know. I would definitely like to see that. I'm a begrudging Circle fan. I was trapped. I was caught into this, not of my own accord, because normally I don't really watch a lot of like reality TV shows.
Yeah.
But Jason got me into this one. Have you watched the alternate language circles, like the Brazil or the?
I have not, but I've had so many people reach out to me, and it goes two ways. So some people will reach out and be like, "Oh my God, we love you in Brazil," or like here or there. And then some people will reach out and be like, "I really, really loved you on the Circle, but your voiceover was horrible."
Oh, yeah, you should definitely watch yourself in every language that they broadcast you. I would.
Apparently, I need to watch myself. I think it was French. Someone sent me a video clip, and I could hear whoever they got to dub over my French voice, and I was like, okay, I feel attacked.
You guys are me.
I know. I was like, oh, thank you for telling me you love me, but also, ouch.
Yeah, I'm not.
And like, are they hiring like voice actors? Like are they like, hey, do his voice, or are they just like hire a guy like, hey, we need you to speak over this? Like
I feel like I sound like this, obviously, but then like in other languages, I'm like this, or I'm like, oh my God, hi guys. And I'm just like, so I either sound super, super, super gay, or I just sound like the most like masculine man you can think of. I would love to hear me in German.
Yeah, that's
Arnold Schwarzenegger has the voice of Brandon Olivia Baker.
Yes,
that would be insane.
I would allow it. I would allow Arnold to do my voiceover in whatever Austrian or German that they want.
Absolutely.
That would be dope.
So, what TV shows you watch? You watch anything fun?
So I'm currently rewatching Schitt's Creek because I'm just obsessed with it. I watch a lot of shows like that. I'm trying to get into The Bear, because I love to cook, and I'm watching it, and it's really, really good. But for some reason, it gives me so much anxiety.
No, it's intense. No, I feel that. Because like I also can acknowledge that it seems like good acting and good writing and the food looks good, but like also, yeah, there's this whole level of intensity and anxiety that comes with it that I think they're trying to show, but also like you're doing a really good job and I'm anxious now.
Yeah, I think the acting is so good that you're literally like, you feel like you're in the moment with them. And it's intimidating. I remember one night I was watching it and I literally had to shut it off because I was like, it's making me anxious. Like I'm watching and I'm like, I think it was their holiday episode. I was like, I feel stressed and I'm not even there.
Yeah, it's like this place doesn't even exist.
Right.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that one. Yeah, it does seem like a good show, and I've heard like nothing but good stuff about it. But
It is good.
it's hard to watch.
It is very good. I just started season 3. I don't know why it keeps getting nominated as a comedy until John Cena just popped into an episode, and finally I got some laughs out of this show. But no, this show like really tests my anxiety meds.
Yeah. I don't think comedy, I don't watch The Bear and I'm like, oh, okay, comedy. It's very subtle comedy. So it's very like they'll hit you with a joke and you're like, wait, what? And then it just goes back to like like chaos. And I it's good. I mean, it puts you in the moment, which is I guess what a show is supposed to do.
Yeah.
I'm just like, woo, I need to breathe.
Oh no, it's because I'm not a horror fan. I don't like being scared. I don't like that. Hey, more power to you. But then, like, you know, some horror movies, like the few that I get to watch, like when they really scare me, I'm like, great. Like I'll never watch another one of your movies again. You've done your job too well. Like
I love it. I love scary movies. I love psychological horror is so good to me because it's just like I don't know. I love to think. I'm my brain is constantly going like a million miles a minute. I'm such an overthinker to the max, to the point I get insomnia sometimes. But I just love movies and things like that outside of comedy too that just make me think. Like I'm like, okay, I'm paranoid. It can't happen, but I'm paranoid.
but if it does.
Yeah. Oh my God. One thing moves in my apartment when I'm watching a horror movie. Like there's a gust of wind I just don't trust. And I'm just like instantly like the power of Christ compels you. Like I'm over it.
Oh my goodness. No,
I am also a huge horror fan. Horror works on so many levels. One, horror can be any genre it wants to be. And if a horror movie is so bad, it's usually funny.
Yes. Yeah. And I love a good like horror comedy. What was it I just watched? I think it was called Abigail. It's about that little ballerina girl
little
who's
girl
a
vampire.
vampire.
Yes.
I was so like one, I never got scared. I maybe jumped a few times because to me it's not really a horror movie.
Yeah.
But I laughed my butt off. Like I laughed so hard. And I was just like genius.
I was shocked because I mean, like, I hate children. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of children. And then, like, it's like they marketed this as a horror movie with a creepy child, as the main character, and I was like, no, there's no way I'm watching this movie. Like this has got nothing for me. But it's by the same guys who did Ready or Not.
Loved.
And I love that one. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. And that little girl can act.
Mm-hmm.
She brought it that whole time. I was just really impressed with her. So I'm glad I watched it. But like, it wasn't scary.
I will say I agree though. Kids in movies, especially like horror movies, scare the crap out of me. I do not disagree.
Yeah, no, creepy children is the worst. It's the literal worst. I can't stand kids in movies. I also can't stand them in real life. I just hands off. Like I don't want any part of it. But the creepy kids in movies it has a way of just like getting into your brain and nesting in there, and then you're just like, yeah, no, I'm not a huge fan.
Well, Brandon, I want to thank you so much, man, for taking the time to talk to us. Hope we can connect in the future.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much for inviting me. Like I love to talk. Clearly, I'm such a talker. But I love to talk and I love to meet people. So it's so good to like have a fun conversation.
Absolutely.
No, Brandon, you've been absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Congratulations on your superbly planned out and perfectly executed victory in the circle. Obviously, you are the supreme mastermind above all else. And it was a great season, and it's great to meet you. I just knew that you were going to be a lovely, wonderful person, and I'm glad that you are. yeah, so thank you very much for just being you and having a good time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
My cousin Mackenzie's watching. Hi, Mackenzie.
Hi,
Mackenzie.
You actually know her, Brandon. She's Shelly's daughter.
Oh, okay. Yes. Oh my God, Shelly. Oh, I miss Shelly. That's like one of the reasons why I need to go back to work, because like I tell people all the time, I love my job because I love my patients and I love my coworkers. I work with amazing people, amazing people. And it's when you have a job like that, you can't leave. You can't just leave. So, I miss them.
Get back in there.
I know. I need to.
Where can everybody find you online, Brandon?
Well, on Instagram and TikTok, and I think Facebook, it's all the same. It's at @B_Randon Baker. They're all the same. Yeah, I post goofy stuff. So if you're ready to have a laugh, come watch.
Awesome. Yeah, next time we talk horror, I'll reach out. All right, everybody, like, comment, subscribe. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye, you guys.
Thanks a lot, Brandon. That was awesome.